national headlines and not always in the most flattering light. January 5th, this state made history, issuing the very first marriage licenses to gays and lesbians.
Duval County Clerk of Court Ronnie Fussell also made news for deciding to end all weddings rather than perform gay ones. First Coast News wanted to know what was happening behind the scenes. Investigative reporter Ann Schindler has been digging into months' worth of documents and has this report.
We requested months of emails, text messages, and other correspondence between the clerk of the court and his staff on the subject of gay marriages and courthouse weddings in general. And what we found was a paper trail that showed a staff keenly aware of a pending legal decision to legalize gay marriage, but not entirely sure how to cope with it. Some 1,900 weddings were performed by the Duval County Clerk of Courts in 2013, generating about $52,000 a year in revenue.
The confirmation of commitment.
But money and tradition weren't enough to keep the wedding arbor standing. On December 29th, just days before the office would be legally required to issue marriage licenses to gay couples, this decision.
What are you going to do? I guess you could cancel all courthouse marriages, but that would be unbelievably petty, spiteful, and vindictive.
The decision sparked an immediate response, both nationally and locally.
I think it's had the impact of discriminating, and that I know that wasn't his intention.
Yeah, I think Clerk Fussell is going to be remembered as a bully.
Inappropriate, yes, on it.
Clerk of Courts Ronnie Fussell told the local paper he didn't believe gays and lesbians should marry. Fussell also said that none of his staff felt comfortable performing gay ceremonies, and in order that, quote, there wouldn't be any discrimination, Fussell said, the easiest way is to not do them at all. That was the last time anyone has heard from Fussell on the issue. He's declined to be interviewed since then, as he declined our request to talk for this story. But text messages and emails obtained by First Coast News show that behind the scenes, Fussell was under pressure from both sides. Raymond Johnson, a politically active arch-conservative who calls homosexuality, quote, an abominable sin, urged Fussell to refuse to even issue marriage licenses. The worst that could happen, he told Fussell, is, quote, being removed from office. Fussell texted back that he couldn't discriminate and still employ his strategy, which was to invoke federal civil rights protections for his staff. Quote, we can't ignore the law and then use it to protect my employees. He also got emails objecting to his decision, including from this friend who said he was, quote, very disappointed. In one of his most revealing exchanges, Fussell said he did not discriminate, adding, quote, I have gay members of my family whom I love dearly. Documents also show that the decision to end weddings was a departure from both courthouse plans and existing policy. The courthouse had just recently upgraded its wedding portal to accept credit cards and was discussing how to employ gender-neutral language. Perhaps most telling, documents that show performing weddings was no mere courtesy. It was previously a required duty of all marriage license employees, a responsibility once every bit as routine as keeping track of court records and collecting fees. Ann Schindler, First Coast News, NBC 12, ABC 25.
And we have the most recent data on courthouse weddings. 1,550 ceremonies were performed in Duval County last year. This year, just 13 were performed in January before they were ended permanently.
Knew it.